Oh God, welcome to the autopsy bench. I've gone and done it again. Why do I put my hands up when no one else wants to do these bloody things? Another joiners has hit the autopsy bench. I need my head looking at sometimes. Enjoy the pics. Unfortunately, you can't smell what is in here at the moment. I've got a bench that looks like someone's basically been sick over it, and this thing is doing a bit of its normal cleaning. But meantime, here's some pictures of what it looked like. It's had a right old pounding. That's a crack through there. It's missing teeth. It's missing teeth there. It's had wallops. This has had a real big bash, and I think I'm going to find more things wrong when I dig a bit deeper. And I guess now the fun starts, so I'll give it 2 or 3 weeks and we'll show you what it comes out like. A lot of work ahead. Well, you might think the casing is a lot cleaner than it was. It is a lot cleaner than it was, but it's still horrible, and I've got a TIG weld in there, and there's no way I can risk taking this and having it aqua blasted. If they drop it and damage this flange, I'm in a world of pain. This has got to go again. It's coming up, it's getting cleaner, there's still more to go. I think yet another change of fluid in the cleaning tank. See if I can get that out and put it back in again. Labour of love. Must be mad. I didn't learn my lesson last time. We have a special tool. That is a very expensive tap. And to give you an idea, I'm going to put an M12 bolt next to it. That is a very large, very expensive tap, which we had to do a balancing act, and Grant managed to completely tidy up the threads. And as you can see, that is a very fine thread. So thank you, Mr. Butcher. We've even undone what you've managed there. You don't want to know how much that costs, but it does the job when it needs. Nothing else will do it, and that does it perfectly. Well, as I said, I can't risk taking this to a blasting company and having it dropped on the floor and damaged, so I've cleaned this up manually. It's taken me an age, but I've got that really nice and clean, ready for me to TIG up, shape the plates. I'm going to give it a wipe with citric acid and then pure acetone before I start TIGging it. And next time you see this, it should be pegged up. Right, plates are all shaped and in there and tacked, and take the life in my hands and weld this up. I only get one go on a case like this. And screw it up, I'm in a world of pain and cost. Wish me luck. Right, TIGged up, I can relax a little bit now, so that's got to cool down. Then we can put it in the jig, drill it through, tap it through the 2 holes there, and then give the thing a damn good clean and a paint. But that will do for today. Thank you very much. fairly happy. That's all drilled and tapped and ready for painting. So next time you see this, it should be ready to be rebuilt. I think we've passed the point of banging our head against the wall and going, oh Christ, now what? I think we're now onto the putting back together and happy times. So yeah, get that primed and painted, I think, next. Now here's the diff. We've got nice big coats of paint on it. It's got primer, it's got top coat. We cleaned it all up, we sorted it all out. We've got a tab locked 4-pin with a forged cross shaft going in, a selection of Timken bearings, a nice big heavy duty 3.5 crown wheel and pinion. All the other bits that go with the diff are all ready there to go together, so that's the next job. Casing is now painted in the jig. Simple matter now of putting a new head bearing in, cleaning up the inside and getting it built. Just when you think things are going to be going nicely, they don't. This had all sorts of dents and crunches and wounds from previous people having a go at it, but equally the bearing that we just pressed in, the shim underneath it, well, the head height was probably close to 1 millimetre out. Normally you're working in thou, that was nearly 1 millimetre out, but we've cleaned it all up and we're going to start hopefully putting it together. Well, the shim that came out, which we think was the wrong height, is 2.09, and we've just put in a 1.2. 1.2. So it's nearly 1 millimetre too high. So we've done the blue check and it's absolutely perfect. So whoever done this before should stop building diffs. Well, it's as close as 5 o'clock as you're going to get, and we're still at it on this bloody diff. These are the bits that are left over, but we now do have a finished centre. And we know it was 1 mil out on the build height, because that blue check is absolutely bang on. So here we have the God knows how many hours worked casing with one of our forged cross shaft in there, with an Ashcroft 4-pin, which we have done the tab lock conversion. We've put our own XS 4x4 ears on there. We use a nut and a bolt through there, not a silly little pin, and that is built. We now have a hell of a problem with the 6-wheeler because it's got all sorts of weird and wonderful seals in, and I spent a hell of a long time with a seal specialist trying to identify them, and just spent a fortune on the phone, and I can only charge the customer if the seals I bought are the right ones. So hopefully I've got a big bundle of oil seals coming so we can rebuild the alley casing and bolt this to it and wish it farewell. But we spent a whole solid day, 2 of us, on that, but it does look the biz. Forgot to mention, it's also got the huge heavy duty 3.5 crown wheel and pinion, and it's got the peg casing all set up. So that's one big tick in the box. We've got a few boxes left to tick. Well, we got more bits now clean than aren't clean, and we got new bits, and we're very pleased with this has come up. We have got 6 ultrasonics. We've got a really big one that can take like a complete diff, and then we got a selection of other ones, and they've all been running pretty much every day, cleaning this lot up, and everything's coming up pretty damn well. We've got a new bearing there, we've got new thrusts, we've got all repolished bolts we've replaced with new bolts, the bolts that were broken. We got to sort this out because someone's had a go at that and it's a bit mullered, and that's quite an important part. The gears have come up really well. We polished them all back up. We've got gear sets everywhere. We've got brackets that are clean, and yeah, we're getting there. We've got to just give it all a final clean and then start thinking about putting some of this back together, because there's an awful lot of bits floating around. There's a whole box load of other bits that haven't been cleaned yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And then, just as we thought we were winning, we went to put this gear on the front of the diff which requires an oil seal. Now, the oil seal that fits on here is a standard Land Rover oil seal, no problem at all. We thought, happy days, we got those in stock, and not a hope. And these actually take a very special and hard to get seal, and that is the correct ID and the correct OD. So it is very much one step forward and one step back, but we've actually managed to find the right seal. So we're replacing all the seals, we're replacing all the bearings. This here I think is the bearing that we took out, and that is not in the first flush of youth by any stretch, and it's also very notchy and it's also very nasty. So we found out what those are and we've ordered those in. So new bearings all round, new seals all round, and also new O-rings all round, which are very unusual. If you remember, we had the pinion height out by a best part of 1 millimetre, and when we did up the diff unit in the casing here, that wasn't tight and we couldn't work out why. It was about 1 millimetre, and then we remembered that when we took it apart, we had these beautifully engineered things shoved under, which obviously took up the slack, and believe it or not, when you measure the 3 of those, they come in at 1.1 mil. And we get rid of those, and that bolted up absolutely perfectly again. Someone's been bodging it. What they've done on the later Foley 6-wheel drives, which is very nice, is they've machined, when it's on obviously the CNC machine, they machined a groove all the way around, which you put an O-ring in. You basically buy the O-ring and you fit it. We know that because here there is a groove and there's no O-ring in it. So we found an O-ring that's going to go in there and on the other bits as well. But that also is going to help, because aluminium to aluminium can be a bit of a bugger to get it to stay oil tight. So that's all in and ready to go. Nice to see a product that's upgraded over the years. Whereas Land Rover diffs, they tend to make them worse over the years. Quite incredible, really. But that's a nice touch. I like that a lot. So we better get this pile in some sort of... Oh yeah, there's the other thing we found. I think we'll replace this bearing as well. This is not nice. I don't know if you can catch the insides of that, but that's picked up and the bearing itself is shot. So we've got all new bearings to go in, as I said earlier, so we just got to try and remove some of the pile here and make it more like a 6-wheel drive unit. Oh, this complex bundle of fun is finally going back together, and funnily enough, it looks an awful lot cleaner than it did before. We've got the main gear sets in, we've got the thrusts, we've got new bearings on. Yes, that is it. And we're moving on now to putting the other thrusts on. We've got the adjuster here which locks it in. We've got the base on the bottom with a new seal and a new bearing down there, and it's beginning to look a lot like a clean 6-wheeler conversion. So we've been at this since the early hours and I lost track of what time it is. It's taking forever, but we're getting there. Which is beginning to be a bit like surgery. We're on the closing up stages now. Well, Sam has come to pick it up and it looks a little different to what he dropped off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely now.
So all rebuilt, all cleaned off. So we've got the peg case all set up. We got the very, very heavily rebuilt transfer box, all the bracketry's on, and it all works and it's all smooth and it's all lovely, and I should be very pleased to see the back of this.